Yes. Beautiful Saturday morning, spending time in traffic in the beautiful state of New Jersey. How's it going, everybody? Empire Precious Metals. I am on my way to the coin shop. Oh, by the way, let me do the quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy talking about precious metals, collectibles, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, get the bell notification, click that way you get updated with any new content. I am on my way to the coin shop. Some of you may have remembered Steve from this previous video.
Dude.
Hey.
What are you doing, man?
I was ready to do the interview with you.
I can't do an interview with that crazy thing on your head. My customers are going to think we're nuts.
It's all right. You can do it.
What, are you out of your mind? We talked about this.
Well, dude, it's like 2 minutes.
Dude, we can't do this in my store. Get the
All right, man. Fine. God. Like, what the hell? I'd say that went pretty well. Now, I don't think I'll be picking up a lot today because I just bought a ton of items for the auction and the website. Spent over $5,000 yesterday on inventory on some very hard to get items that people absolutely love. So that will be in an upcoming video, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But I am actually now approaching the coin shop, US Coin Trust, and we are going to say hello to my boy Steve. All right, there it is, US Coin Trust. All right, so we're gonna go in and meet Steve again. Hopefully he's not gonna throw me out.
Hey, Stormy.
I'm good. This wasn't planned or anything.
What brings you by today?
Good to see you, buddy.
What's happening?
So, as you know, there are people in the stacking community who are doing these types of interviews with their coin shop guys. You got Yankee,
right,
who does his interviews with Tim up in New Hampshire. You've got Spectacular down in Florida with Coin Guy. So I figured, why not New Jersey with Steve? So this is your big debut. You're not cursing me out and kicking me out of the shop, so I appreciate it. So what do you got going on today? I'm seeing like some new stuff actually in here.
Working on the displays right now.
You got a lot of slab stuff, and the slab prices have been going up like crazy lately.
Yeah,
people have been cleaning me out of my website.
Yeah, the U.S. Mint is coming out with the Morgan dollar this year.
Yeah.
And I think as a result of that, it's really driving the Morgan dollar sales. I mean, it's certainly much higher than we've seen in the past. You know, so it's starting a nice buzz, which is good for everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely getting more people interested. And look at the kookaburras. You got to get some more of the pandas in there, you know? And then look over here, you're getting into some of the collectible stuff. I like it. I like the diversification. Yeah, we're doing more cards. We're doing some comic type of stuff. Oh, baby.
Collectibles.
So let's go over here. So I wanted to ask you your take on a couple of things.
Sure.
In particular, first of all, I want to know, like, what's the most commonly asked question that you are getting when people come into the shop?
So recently, there's been a big rush of people coming in and asking, you know, they're new to the silver and gold. They're concerned with the money that's getting pumped into the economy.
Yeah.
You know, and probably rightfully so. I mean, there's got to be consequences from all the type of money that's getting dumped into the economy. So they're looking to get into something that's a little bit more secure.
Yeah.
So yeah, the common question is, you know, should I buy silver? Should I buy gold?
Yeah.
You know, and then it goes back. I tell them the analogy all the time about back in the '60s, you could buy a house for $10,000.
Right.
You could buy 300 ounces of gold, and all three of them would be an equal value back in the '60s.
Yeah.
If you came fast forward to today, your house is $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. Your gold is $500,000 to $600,000. And your $10,000 is still $10,000.
Yeah.
It's not even a good down payment.
Right.
So you would need 60 times more of the paper money to buy the same thing. So it's not really that the gold or house got more expensive. It's just that the dollar doesn't buy as much.
Right. Right.
So I explain that to them. So, and then it really depends on where their mindset is.
Right.
Are you looking for an investment? Are you trying to preserve your wealth? Are you looking to maybe make some money?
Yeah.
So that's really three things you need to consider.
Yeah. And, one of the things, too, I've told people many times, the silver that they're buying, just keep in mind of like how much bulk they're going to accumulate as they continue to buy the silver and stack the silver. A lot of people say, I don't have the money for gold, which I totally understand, but I try to tell them, maybe hold off on buying all those ounces of silver right now and put that money aside, save it, and then buy yourself some gold, maybe even a 10th ounce or a quarter ounce, because the amount of silver that you will accumulate over the years, and if you're in the mindset of I don't have enough money for gold and you're just buying silver, before you know it, you're going to amass this huge stack, and it's going to be really cumbersome. I'm not one of the individuals who necessarily believes in an SHTF scenario, but if I ever needed to get out of Dodge quickly, I know that I would just grab the gold, and I would probably forget about the silver just because there's just too much.
Truck to get it out of there because it's real heavy. And again, I like to bring up the 100-ounce bar, which is a little over 7 pounds just by itself.
Yeah.
So you have $3,000 value there versus a gold coin. A 1-ounce gold coin is roughly $2,000.
Yep.
So it's so much easier to move around. So in portability purposes, ease of just storage space and that type of stuff. It's certainly a good reason to maybe lean towards the gold.
Right. And also gold is a lot more steady. I mean, if you look at the historical pricing charts, you see that, everything has its dips and its peaks, but gold over time tends to be a bit more steady.
Yeah, you see a much flatter trajectory with the gold than you do with the silver. However, a lot of people, believe, and I'm one of them. I'm very bullish on silver. Mm-hmm. I think percentage-wise speaking, you have a much better odds of making a much bigger profit, dollar, pound for pound, in the silver.
Right.
Because everybody knows it's way undervalued right now.
Yeah. But now, and you and I have talked about this a bit, and my stance with the whole silver squeeze stuff that happened, a few months ago, and then again a couple weeks back. A lot of people were expecting silver to shoot up to $50, $100 overnight. People were really kind of getting this kind of this perception that silver was going to skyrocket overnight. And, I was one of the individuals saying, no, that's not how it's going to work. You need a tremendously huge amount of money and buying power in order to make anything like that even possible.
So that's exactly what the banks displayed, right? So, there was a little bit of a spike in the metals, and then quickly you see the big banks, they squash that real quick. So
and that's what I was saying.
Show you how fast it also, that was a exclamation point, in my opinion, on the manipulation.
Yeah, yep, and that's exactly what I was telling people. And then ever since that Silver Squeeze 2.0, haven't really seen a whole lot of the talk about it.
With the silver, though, it's not, the silver squeeze is a thing. The shortage, definitely. It's, I was telling people this week that if you came into my store and you wanted to buy 1,000 ounces of silver, I probably wouldn't deplete my inventory here at the store. I would most likely order that for you.
Right.
And with that being said, you're looking at probably 3 weeks before I could actually deliver.
So are you seeing? So you're saying you have been noticing a shortage when it comes to the ordering and the supply that you're able to access?
Yeah, back in the day, a year and a half ago, I could make a phone call and I could have 500 ounces on my counter. And
that's what I was about to ask you. Typically, how quickly would the turnaround be? So now you're seeing it as much as 3 weeks.
I would say that I like to rather surprise them, with being shorter than later. It could be as long as 4 weeks. It really depends.
Right.
And then what I'm finding now too is larger orders, even with the gold. Traditionally I would just make one phone call and I could order 100 ounces of gold.
Right.
I can't do that now.
Right.
So even the gold is in short supply.
I was going to ask you, and are you noticing any difference between the two? Is one a little bit more difficult to acquire in terms of supply, or are they kind of running about the same?
Running about the same.
Yeah.
I'd say. Gold might be a little easier to get a hold of. Than the silver.
Right.
Silver is definitely not as easy.
So let me ask you this then: if somebody comes in today and they're like, "Look, I only have X amount of dollars," because this is a question that I get all the time. They're like, "Okay, I only have $500 or $1,000. What should I buy?" Right. What I tell them, and I'm curious to see how much we differ. I usually tell them, all right, if you have $1,000, get yourself maybe 1/10 ounce gold eagles, so you have some gold. Then I'll tell them, buy yourself some generics, buy yourself maybe a few eagles and a little bit of like junk silver. Like I tell, like almost like a starter kit, like to get them started, right? But if they came in and they could only choose one or the other, what would you say is the better buy right now?
Well, again, that's going to boil back down to, are they a brand new person?
Brand new. Pretend they're brand new.
Nothing.
Completely.
I would probably point them in this direction of silver right now.
Yeah.
$1,000 worth of silver is not burdensome really at all.
Right.
I would probably do that. I think you have your best potential.
Yeah.
Right now, in that type of thing, $1,000 is not going to get you a heck of a lot of gold.
No.
And I think if they walk out of here with a lot of silver, they're going
to feel better, more substantial. It's a lot different walking out with. Something. Yeah, because like I remember telling some people, like, listen, if you're going to be spending money at the coin shop when I go for you, just know that a 10th ounce gold coin's the size of a dime. Like they're expecting, like if they're giving me like $500 to come and spend on their behalf, they're like thinking that they're going to get so much. I'm like, no. You're going to get it's going to be like a little like blink, like a tiny little nothing. So if they had to buy one or the other, you're telling them go for the silver. I would
with that kind of budget level.
Yes, right.
With $10,000, then it'd be a different story. Then I'd probably diversify it.
Yeah.
Probably go something along the lines of what your strategy is. That makes sense.
Right.
Maybe throw a little platinum in there.
Right. Oh, see, platinum isn't something that I've gotten into yet.
A lot of people haven't, but in my
opinion, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it just kind of runs in the same class as not that long ago. Platinum was $730.
Yeah,
it's $1,200.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like that's going to reverse.
Right.
I mean, you can see it pull back a little bit, but I don't think tremendously.
Right.
I think platinum's an excellent buy right now.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get a hold
That's
of.
what a lot of people are saying. It's just one of those things. For whatever reason, I stick to silver and gold. It's what I kind of know. Yep. And I guess they're really like, what does there really know about platinum? I mean, I'm sure platinum has its purposes. I mean, I know in jewelry, I'm sure there's uses for it in some sort of industry. I don't know if it's used at all in like electronics or anything like that.
It absolutely is, especially now with a lot of the space missions that are going on.
Yeah.
Like that, it's used quite a lot.
Yeah.
But again, it's something that you kind of diversify your metal stack with.
Yeah.
Maybe not invest all of your money into it, but 10%, maybe 20% of your portfolio
of the metal stack allocate to platinum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll buy some next. I don't know. I haven't tried selling it on the auctions yet, and like I said, I haven't messed around with it, but it's something that I'm open to. And going back to our discussion about silver and gold, I'm curious as to where you see it going, because I personally don't see it going to 100 over time. Maybe possibly I could see it going to $50. To me, that seems a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's realistic, honestly, in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
$100 is it possible? Certainly. Should it be $100? Yes.
Right.
But realistically, I could see it being in the mid 50s.
Yeah.
That's more of a
do you see
term type of goal.
I was going to say, do you see that as something that would be like a permanent like floor? Like maybe it takes a couple years to get to $50. Then do you see it staying at 50? I mean, nobody knows. They don't have a crystal ball, but
if it steps up slowly in smaller increments, and that's
and establishes a floor.
That's right, and it's a sign of strength.
Right.
When you see it go from $27 to $50 in 2 weeks, then likely it's not going to stay there.
Right.
Very, very rarely in those cases would it hold on to that.
Right.
So it really depends on if it does what it's supposed to do and it's acting the way that it is right now, which is very nice to see. It's showing a lot of strength. It's moving in smaller increments. Yeah,
and it's just staying put too.
Yeah, that's showing a lot of strength, and I feel like that we're at the floor. We're basically at the
I agree.
I can see it pulling back maybe a little bit here,
like
and
a buck or two tops.
Yeah, but not anything crazy.
Nothing below 20.
No way. I think those days are long behind.
I know. I'm so disappointed. Yeah. But I mean, at least I was getting into it and I was doing what I could, stacking wise, and I was able to build up a decent enough inventory and stack for myself. So I was glad I got into it when I did. It seems like that was like one of the few things that I did right in life.
So the metals are not something that you get into and you look at every single day. You don't want to micromanage stack. You want to just take your time, go slow with it, buy in over the course of time. You want to kind of cost average is always a good strategy. And look at it for a long term.
Yeah.
Remember, 1960s and today, that was a long time ago.
Right.
But preservation of wealth.
Right. Now let me ask you, looking at the stuff that you've got here, right, in the display cases, like what would you say is like the top 3 selling items of your shop, whether it be American Gold Eagles or Silver Eagles or slab stuff? Like, what's a common thing that you're constantly selling?
The generic silver is probably of the top right now. That's the fastest moving product I have. In the coin world, probably the Canadian maple leaves.
Really?
They're really a good buy. When people
the silver or the gold?
The silver.
Okay.
Yeah, the silver. When people see the prices of the American Silver Eagles at $41, $42.
I know. What are the maple leafs at now? I haven't looked.
Like 37.
Yeah. So see, it's
better buy.
It is. It's hard for anybody to really kind of justify, buying a government-backed coin for $5-6 more. The maples. Now the Philharmonics too; those typically command a less premium as well.
That's right. Yeah. But it's not as popular here.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. The maples tend to be. I've found within my auctions and everything, and just reading what everybody says in the stacking community, that maples are like the second choice for Americans here in the States. Anyway,
that sounds very true.
And so like the maple leafs, the generics, and what would you say is like the third thing that you're selling a lot of? 90%. The junk.
The junk silver. It's a good buy. You get your most silver for the buck there. I mean, at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's not a bad thing to get into.
No. The junk silver is something that I had, I don't know, for whatever reason, I do tell people that they should have some. I don't really have a lot. It's not as, in my opinion, not as fun to look at as the high-end collectible stuff, you know what I mean? But I totally understand, and they're beautiful coins. They've got the history behind them, and I think it serves its purpose. You do have the group of people, though, that do believe in the SHTF and the value of having it, and I can understand that mentality,
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily think anything like that would ever happen where we have to resort to
Well, we hope not.
trade. Exactly. But it could happen, right? Like anything can happen.
Certainly it could happen. You're right. Right. I mean, chaos, sure. I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah. See, at least I have you in case of a time of chaos. I have you to protect me.
Right. Stormy come running over to US coin.
So, also the one thing too that I would have to say, what I'm excited about for you and for the shop, is that you are getting more into the collectible 3.9s and 4.9s fine stuff, because there is quite a demand for that within the stacking community. And I know your wheelhouse is more of being like the traditionalist with like the older numismatics and knowing like the prices of like how much generics go for and that sort of thing. But it's hard.
Most coin dealers really their bread and butter is the bottom line is the bullion.
It's
in and out every day. That's your everyday material.
Fast transaction. You know what the spot is.
In the cases here, that's only probably 10% of my business.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see that nationwide from the people that I've talked to and the other dealers in the community. I think everybody's experiencing the same thing.
Right.
Bullion has kind of become the forefront, whereas the coin collecting is we don't have as many young collectors coming into the coin.
I know. And the bullion too, what they are able to do is they can market it to anything, right? Like you have like the Marvel coins, you've got the Godzilla coins, you have Peanuts. So they can mint anything that can appeal to such a broad audience. You have all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
So, with that stuff too, and the way that they do it, I mean, in my opinion, it's smart, right? They make the limited mintage. They say there's only 20,000 of these, 15,000 of those, and that drives up the demand for them and drives up the price, right? Absolutely. And so, I'm excited that you have that stuff coming in now, because I know without a doubt that people are going to be buying it. So, we got a delivery. All right. So I'm excited that you're getting the high-end collectible stuff, and I'm pretty certain you're going to see the sales of those items on your website.
Yeah, definitely.
Take off.
In the process right now of putting together a storefront. We're getting a little bit more elaborate with it, so we're actually having it built for us right now, and it's probably going to be a few months before we actually go live with it. But it certainly will be. You
got to do it right. Yeah, you can't just like throw it up there and just call it a day. It's got to be done the right way.
Silver and gold and any type of bullion coin.
That's awesome.
Numismatic type of stuff on there, the collectibles.
Yeah.
All that stuff will be on the storefront. So that's more. We're kind of going in that direction.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, I will put your information in the description of this video. Guys, anybody that's interested in talking to my boy Steve, the information is going to be down below. But like I said in the beginning of this video, I've been doing business now with Steve for the 2 years that he's been in this location, and I couldn't recommend him enough. So make sure you definitely check him out. Make sure you let him know that Stormy sent you.
Appreciate it.
And I would like to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't already become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, this is Empire Precious Metals. Until next time, long live the Empire.